Hey, in this video, we are going to break down ThriveCart and do a complete walkthrough. This is the newest walkthrough right now, and because there's been so many features added to ThriveCart over the years, you can see a list of them that are on this page right here. We're going to break down most of these. You can see there is just a lot of stuff you could do with ThriveCart. So let's go into it right now and start actually showing this thing off. Alrighty, so in this video, we're going to walk you through everything that has to do with ThriveCart as best as we can and as quick as we can, because there's a lot of stuff like you were just seeing in that previous screen with all the different features. So no way we're going to be able to get through them all here, but we're going to walk through the basics and also highlight some really key features that ThriveCart has to offer. And just keep in mind as well that ThriveCart is constantly updating and adding new features into here all the time. And, so every time you basically log in, there's something new, it feels like. So let's break down the basics right now, and then we'll dig into some of those other features that are really cool. So the very first thing you want to do is, well, right now we're looking at our dashboard for one of our accounts. And you can see it's really cool. We'll break all down how to actually organize this stuff. And, there's a lot of things you can customize. You can actually drag and drop a lot of this stuff to create it your own, which is really cool. So first thing to start everything off is we're going to create a product, and the product list is right here, but we are actually going to create a brand new one. And what you can do with ThriveCart is you have the ability to create a product that is digital product focused or physical product focused. And you can see you have two different options here, and it gives you different abilities, once you dig in deeper. So when you're deciding about your product, just make sure you have that in mind, that this is good for things like ebooks, coaching, software, any kind of membership platforms, things like that, training. So the physical products are great for things like books, tickets, merchandise, events, things of that nature are going to be the more physical side of things. You can also sell shirts and integrate with things like Shopify and other platforms out there to help you do that stuff. For this example, we're going to keep it simple with a digital product and create a new product here. And you'll see how seamlessly ThriveCart allows you to work through the whole process of creating a product. It's actually very linear and it's easy to follow along. So you can see it's all done in a tabbed type nature here. So right now we're trying to create our product under this product tab, and we're under the options right here. So for this example, we're actually going to create a product checkout page for our traffic program. Perpetual audience growth is what it's called. So I'm just going to type that in right here. And you can see we have the product name here, and then there's also a description that is just for us, kind of behind the scenes. So we'll just call this test. And if we go down here, so for our checkout page, we're actually going to have a, it's going to be kind of like our main domain right here, which I'll tell you some options on how that looks like and how to customize that, / whatever we want. And then this will actually take us to the checkout page. So we can just usually leave it as this. Maybe I'll do test, but you can obviously shorten it, do whatever you want here. So the product status, we're gonna want this to be a live product once we're finished here, but there is a test mode and you can disable any of your products as well. Now the owner of the product, I'll just put it as Matt, since he's in here, my business partner. So you can select, actually, if you have different folks on your team or other people working for you, you can actually give access, limited access, depending on the level of role that person has in your company. So you can define that inside of here and assign an owner as you wish. So it doesn't always have to be you, it could be someone else as well. So after you complete all that, we're just gonna hit next, and you'll notice on the top, all we did was just move from one tab to another. So it keeps it really simple going through here. So now we have our pricing options, and you have the option to sell in one of many currencies. And there's new currencies being added all the time based off of demand of the customers and people looking into ThriveCart. So this is something that, you'll see new currencies being added all the time. For this example, we're gonna use US dollars. And now to set up the pricing of the product, this is what's really cool, is because you can actually add a whole bunch of different pricing options and payment types. So let me show you what I mean here. So you can see under the payment types, there's actually a drop down that gives you many different options. Not a lot of checkout platforms give you the total flexibility on how to do all these things. You know, we have the basic one-off, but then you can also create a subscription product or a split pay, and also a pay your own price, which is really cool for certain things. It could be like for t-shirts or giveaway, or not giveaways, but you know, something of a smaller value, or maybe even a course. It could be interesting to play with. So each of these serve a purpose. And just for a second, we'll go over to subscription. And let's just use this for the example, since one-off is, one-time fee is pretty obvious. You could see, you could set the price. You can actually set a trial period as well. That's what's unique with ThriveCart, is that you also have the options to dig in deeper and create kind of a trial offer if you wish. And for this, I'm just going to do throw in $300 for one time. And you can see this little description on the bottom changes dynamically as we input values on top. Now, I'm just going to do a trial of 7 days. So you can see if someone were to buy this product, what they can do is actually have a trial period of 7 days. So you can see your customer will be charged $300 in 7 days as soon as that trial period ends. So this is why it gives you a lot more flexibility if you want to give people a test run of your product, whatever it might be. You can define that right here and then put the fee or the amount that they will be charged after that time period. So if we go to a subscription, let's go here really fast and show you the options. So you can see there's billing frequency. This is where you want to start. So you have monthly, you have annual, you have quarterly, 6 months, every 2 weeks, weekly, or daily. So these give you the intervals in which you can bill folks for your product. Now for this case, let's call it annual. And again, you can see there's a description that changes down here based off of whatever you're saying. You can see right there, daily if you want. So let's do annual for this one, and we'll say annual price of $300. And you can see today's price automatically filled as $300 as well. But you can change that if you wished. So you could say like, okay, today's price is going to be less, but then your rebate price is more. In this case, I'm just going to leave it at $300 to keep it the same. But you can see, again, you have a lot of flexibility. And with this one as well, you can have a trial period. So let's say it again, 7 days. And the amount of rebills are indefinite, but you can customize that as well. So indefinite. And you can see your customer will be charged $300 immediately for their 7-day trial, and then $300 for following up in every single year. So that's that annual payment right there. For this example, I'm going to get rid of that just so it's super simple. It's just an annual payment of $300. And you can select if an invoice goes out for each recurring payment. We will select that that's the case. And if you wanted to, you can limit the quantity of how many of these are available. So you can actually use a scarcity thing here and say, there's only 100 spots available for this specific product. Maybe it's some special offer you're running. So I'm just going to do that actually, and just kind of show how that looks on the actual page itself. Now, as I hit next, you can see we can name the product now. So this is actually what shows on your checkout page. So I'm going to actually do this. I'll just name it PAG. I'll just leave it as training payment, or annual payment, that is. You can obviously make this a lot nicer and specific to your product, but we're just going to leave that as is for this example. Hit save. Now what's really cool is if you wanted to, I wouldn't in this case, but in a different product scenario, you can actually add a secondary or even more different pricing options on here. So let's say if someone just wanted to pay a one-time fee for some reason without a rebill, let's call it $400. This is all totally hypothetical, of course. We can hit next. You can see now, okay, we have that. We can only allow them to purchase one at a time, or they can even purchase multiple purchases at once. We're going to do one at a time for this example again. But you can see now that, and we can actually preview this, which is, actually we can't yet. But when the time comes around, I'll show you how there are now multiple options, payment options on one checkout page. And you can actually rearrange this so one is above the other if you want. Now, if you are selling something of limited quantities, you do have the option to actually put a little notification on top. So you can see here, you can edit your quantity settings. When all copies are sold, you can replace the cart with a complete message, you can redirect to another page, or you can actually just reset the countdown timer so it actually kind of creates this another level of scarcity all over again for the promo. So I'm not going to do that here, but just know that that's available. Now, what's really cool with ThriveCart is the ability for it to track all of your sales taxes automatically for you. So you can see, you could set this up if this matters to you, if it's required for the products you're selling in your business and location. ThriveCart has it handled. So you just hit next, and then actually there's ways to what you'll want to do. And we're not going to do it right here, but you can actually define a lot of your tax stuff inside the settings right up on top there. So in this case, I will leave it selected. Actually, I'm going to unselect it for this case, but just know that tax is available here, and it actually collects and calculates everything by location, which is really, really unique. Another thing that ThriveCart does really well compared to most others out there. So another one you could do here is customize the invoice that gets sent to your customers, once they have a purchase here or make a purchase. So you just want to enter some text down here. It basically is the top of the invoice. For example, you can thank customers for purchasing, give them some extra info. So I'm just going to say, thank you very much. Something as simple as that. And all the other billing stuff will be underneath. And you can do there. We can actually upload a logo. So what I'm going to do is just upload our EGP logo, our company logo. So that'll be at the top of the invoice. Save that. You can actually preview that. And you can see right here, we just plugged in the invoice, the date, company name. You can enter all that stuff inside of your settings. And you can see customer info is all listed here. The price of the product. Thanks for grabbing the training. You can add any of your descriptions here. Product is right down here with the price. Obviously this isn't accurate. This is just showing what we typed in. And this is kind of the basic ways how the invoices look. As of recording this, you can have a direct link to access the product, contact support, download this thing as a PDF or the records. A lot of ways that basically makes it easier on your customer to access what they purchase. So now that we're done with the pricing, we're going to go over here to next. And now we have this bump offer capability. So this is really cool. So we're going to hit yes to this. And again, you have an option now. So even though we are building a digital product, we do have the option to actually offer a physical upsell, or it's not really an upsell, it's called a bump offer. Basically what it is a box on your checkout page, like you see right below here, that is an add-on to the actual main product itself. So just keep it in mind that you can add in something like, if you wanted to add in a book or a t-shirt, that could be an upsell to your course. Let's call it a training course. And then that can be fulfilled by a third-party integrated service. A t-shirt, for instance, we use a service called Printful, and that integrates with ThriveCart. I'll show you that a little briefly later on how to do that. But let's say this is just going to be a digital, we'll upsell to, some kind of quick start guide or something like that. Let's just type that in, quick start guide. And then we'll just sell it for $10. So it's just a kind of a no-brainer upsell. You could see, grab the quick start guide, special one-time offer. There we go, special $10. And then you can also add in, some kind of description goes right here. And you can see it's kind of limited on purpose. It's supposed to be a quick add-on with not a lot of description required to actually make that sale. But the conversion rate on these things are pretty crazy. We've seen it really high. So once you have that done here, you hit next, and then it goes over to this processors tab. So this is where we actually hook up our payment processors, which is really cool and unique. So what we do is click this, and you can see these are all the different services that are available right now inside of ThriveCart. We have Stripe, we have Authorize.net, PayPal, Apple Pay, and GPay. So these ones are super unique because this allows customers either on Android or iPhone, if they have it set up, to actually just pay with their thumbprint or their, the facial recognition or any way that those phones basically validify that it's you making the purchase. Just like if you were buying something in the App Store, people can now buy your products, whatever you're selling, using either Apple Pay or Google Pay, GPay. So really, really cool. This helps you increase your conversions because it's something that people are used to using. So it's good to give them all the options. Now, another thing you can do is you can integrate whatever you want. So let's say you want to use Stripe and PayPal and all these services. We don't have some of these set up, you can see, but what you can do is give them all the options. Or maybe you just want to offer PayPal for some reason. You could see it's required to actually have Stripe on to use these other services. So just keep that in mind. You could see, if we do that, those go away. So there's always reasons why you might want different processors, but just know that you have the flexibility to actually do this to your liking. So we're going to hit save, and now you know that these processors are available for customers to use to purchase your products. Now we hit next, and you have the ability, and this is what's really cool, is ThriveCart gives the ability to have affiliates to promote your products and services or whatever you have for sale. And we're going to get into what the affiliate center looks like. That's actually up here. But in this case, we could choose if we want affiliates to promote our product or not. Let's say yes, for the heck of it. So what you can do is then set up affiliate commissions right here. You can set up a whole bunch of different options. I think this is going to take me to a different, oh no, it won't. Okay, so what you could do is actually set up all the information for affiliates to use and for all the automations to work for the specific product. So you can do it the same for all pricing options. You can, basically what we're doing here is specifying the commissions that people will earn off of selling our product. So you can make it the same here for all pricing options or different for each of those pricing options that we set. Remember there was the annual payment and then the one time. Let's just say it's the same. And the commission type in this case, we'll make it a percentage, but you can make it a flat fee as well. And let's call it 50%, recurring commissions 50%, and anything that that people sell on the bump offer there is also 50%. And what you could do, which is really cool, is you don't have to actually manually pay people. You can have it instantly pay out, or even add a delay of, let's call it 30 days. Maybe you have a refund guarantee, a money back refund guarantee. You can actually have them get paid after that amount, and everything will be automated to you. So that's actually synced up with PayPal. So when your affiliates sign up, they would have to enter their PayPal email address, sign up with some stuff there, and essentially this stuff will do the work for you. So you don't have to worry about calculating all the commissions for your affiliates and all that stuff. ThriveCart completely takes care of that stuff for you. So what you can do here, there are now some further options. Is you could set the cookie options, so you can allow new signups, new affiliates to basically sign up. You can manually approve. You can have all these different cookie details. I'm not going to dig into all that stuff, but you can see require affiliates to connect their PayPal account. That's so you can automate a lot of this stuff, or you can send them checks. But anything you want, basically you have the flexibility to do that within ThriveCart. So you can see now what we're going to do is hit next. And now we go to this fulfillment tab. So what we want to specify is what are people going to do after they purchase our product. So what we want to do is give them our support email. Oops. And we will also want, we specify what they want to see after purchase. So what should happen? So what we could do is just display their total invoice, basically that thing that I previewed for you earlier. Or we could send them to a URL. So that could be a custom thank you page. It could be some other login instructions page or anything that you currently have set up. Or you can have them add automatically into a membership site. That's typically what we do, and there's a whole bunch of ways that, and there's this little error thing, but ignore that. That's just because we don't have it Teachable totally integrated right now. But what you can do is, and these are the ones that we currently have integrated or somewhat integrated in Teachable's case, basically we have a drop-down menu. So once you integrate your membership site, you can then select exactly where you want these folks, whoever purchased, to go into your website. So let's just use Teachable for this example. And we have a Teachable site with them that's called EGP Teachable. So anybody that adds or purchases this product will immediately get access to our Teachable area to access their content that they purchased. And you could basically, you can give them different membership levels based off of their pricing. We're going to keep it all the same here. And then essentially, you have some other options here to fill out. So depending on your setup with the membership site, then these things will be slightly different. You'll adjust them accordingly. But again, you can see it's very simple to kind of walk through all of this stuff here. And now keep it in mind as well, I'll dig into integrations with membership sites. You can actually integrate a ton of things. There's a lot that are natively integrated with ThriveCart, and then there's also other options you can use if it's not natively integrated. Things like Zapier, you can use different email, HTML codes, and then you can also even do some API stuff. There's a lot of custom stuff you can do if it's not natively integrated. So what we're going to do is, and you can see even an option down here, if you have any CDs or DVDs, you can use Kunaki to actually deliver those. That's a third-party service that integrates with ThriveCart. So let's hit next. Actually, you know what? Right now, I'm going to just actually keep this simple for this case and not integrate it with membership sites, just because it's going to take us a little longer. So now let's hit next. And now we are at where we design the checkout page. So at the time of this recording, we have 4 of these right here to choose from. They give you, each one of them gives you a lot of options. But keep in mind that the team at ThriveCart is actively producing more of these and actually improving all the options all the time. So keep a lookout, it's constantly changing. And that's what's really awesome about all this whole thing here. So what we're gonna do is we have a tall one-step checkout. So that's one complete checkout page, no clicking around, all the information's right there shown. You have this other option that's a 2-step checkout page. So these are really cool when you want to collect personal information or any kind of vital information and then actually have folks click to a second step for them to enter in their payment info. This really helps when you want to use abandoned cart sequences. So let's say that someone enters their details, their email address, but they don't complete their purchase. You now have the ability to send up some follow-up emails that entice them, incentivize them to come back and complete the purchase with you. Those are all done inside of ThriveCart's integrations with your email autoresponder. We're not going to do that now for this example, but you also have this option. This third option is the embeddable checkout. So if you use something like WordPress or ClickFunnels or Thrive Architect or just really anything out there, lead pages, anywhere that you can put in an HTML code or just basically a code that you'll see in ThriveCart, you can copy and paste that into whatever you're used to making your pages with and actually put your embedded checkout page right inside of your normal kind of ecosystem, your sales page or your WordPress page, whatever it is that you're using. You can embed your checkout page with a simple code that you can copy and paste over. So keep that in mind. You have a lot of flexibility, and then you can really customize what's all around your page exactly like you wish. And then this last one over here is really good for, I would say it's more of a simplified checkout. Maybe it doesn't explain, you don't need testimonials or box images on there or extra stuff. It's kind of more of a simplistic type checkout page that you can link to with a button on a simple page. Maybe it's for an event or something like that. It's a pop-out checkout page. So for this example, let's do the tall one step, go to next, and this is where it gets really fun. There's a lot of options you can do here. So we're gonna start at the top and work our way down-ish on each side. So we're gonna start with the cart header. So you can edit everything just by clicking in here. We can select an image. I have one right here. It's a company logo. And you can see it's loaded right there. We can add a tagline if we really wanted to. And we can hit save. And now we have that complete. Now we have this countdown timer on top. So this is really cool to add a little scarcity to whatever you're trying to sell. So let's just say on a specific date, let's call it on Friday, a few days from now, we replace, that's our countdown timer. deadline. But once the countdown ends, what you can do is replace with a message or redirect them to a different page. Let's do a replace with a different message, and we'll add a short message next to your countdown. So get it quick. We'll do something like that. And then also right down here is that message box, replace with message. So customize this message to show when the countdown ends. Sorry, you missed it. Something like that. And Grammarly is correcting me. And if we go over here, we could select different colors. We like the red or the orange ones just to make it pop off the page a bit. And then we'll hit save. So now we have the countdown timer on top. What we could do then is add in some guarantee seals or some other seals. What we like to do is actually this encrypted checkout page seal. So if we, it's just kind of a trustworthy thing, but if you want the money back guarantee or satisfaction guarantee, you have some pre-selected options here. Now going down over here, we have the edit requested fields. So you have the option to collect as much or as less, the least amount of fields as possible. And typically our MO is basically the less the better is going to lead to higher conversions. Not always the case, but that's just what we found. But you can collect business name. We're going to say no on this one, but we will want to collect first and last names for the customer. In this case, we're not sending anything in the mail, so we're not going to collect any address stuff. It's not necessary, but you do have the ability to collect anything you want there. We're not going to collect the telephone number, but you can see you do have the option to collect that. And in this case, we're not going to add a terms and conditions, but you can. So let's say if you have a specific guarantee, maybe a refund guarantee or some kind of policy that you want folks to agree to before buying the product, this is where you would type it all out. So essentially there would be a little a click, a button, a pop-up that gives them whatever this lovely message is right here. And then they have to tick a box next to that to basically signify that they agree with your terms and conditions. Now in this case, we're gonna hit no, just keep it simple, hit save. So now we have that done. Now we're gonna go down over here to custom fields. You can get really tricky with this stuff if you wanted to, but again, it's not super necessary. But you can see you can add any kind of custom fields you wish. And we're not going to get into any of them right now, but if you want to collect more info about whatever the product or service is that you're selling, you can add any other extra fields that you want right inside of here. So we're going to delete these and go to close. And now you can see you can also add a checkbox, so some extra checkboxes if you wish. That just depends on what you're doing. This could be all sorts of things, whatever again you want them to check. Maybe it's like you said here, the example, or like it says here, the marketing emails. You can definitely have another option there and an opportunity to explain what that box signifies. I'm gonna hit no on there and save. And now you can see you can edit the buy button. So now we're at the bottom of the page. So we can say complete this order. All right, we could say get it now and make it blue. Let's do that. Hit save. Now on the far right side, you can actually edit or put a video right inside of here. We don't have a video actually prepared for this right now, but you can put in a little embed code right inside of here from something like YouTube or Vimeo. And the idea here is to essentially describe what's on the page. What are people doing, looking at, and you can even kind of walk them through on what to complete on this page right here. So it could be a good little tutorial walkthrough video on the far right, top right corner of your checkout page. Now for the box shot, this is always kind of cool to put in there, give them a little look at what the product is. Maybe you have a 3D box shot or just a cool product image. That's what you'll put in right there. Now for bullet points, these are cool. So this is all obviously selling points for what your product is. What I'm gonna do is just add some pre-existing ones that I pulled from our previous page that we're recreating right now. Just do this really fast. All right, that's enough to get the perspective. Then we hit save. Same with testimonials. So what you can do is add testimonials that go right on your checkout page. And that is just gonna help your conversions even more. Again, I'm gonna paste some in here just so you have it. And I'm just gonna show you how fast this is. And I'm doing this while I'm talking, so I would definitely recommend pre-writing this stuff just so it's nice and quick for when you're actually building this all out. And we should be done. Boom, there we go. So hit save. And now what you can see on the bottom little section here is they can actually change the price, or not the price, but the language that's shown on your checkout page. So you can see there are, again, other languages being added all the time inside of ThriveCart. So right now we default this to English, but you can make this anything you want here. Maybe it's Spanish, you know, and that could be the default language for your actual checkout page. Now keep in mind that there are options, and I'll touch on them in the settings here. There are options to actually define everything in your own language, even if it's not listed here. So ThriveCart does have your back to make sure that any language that you want to put in there can be done with ThriveCart. And you can either select something right here, or you can customize your own in the settings using a really cool new feature that ThriveCart put out. You can also change some colors. You can change the layout, you know, kind of flip the layout. We're not going to touch any of that stuff. We're just going to hit next. And this next page, so you can see we just moved this other tab. This is the success page. So this is the page that happens after you create that, or after they complete their checkout process. You can then send them to a page. We chose in the previous step, one of these, I think it was fulfillment, to use the ThriveCart default page. So what we're going to do is just put a quick headline here. Say, thank you for purchasing. Something like that. So headline, subheadline, save. What we can do is put a video here. This is what we like to do. You could use, you know, Easy Video Suite, Easy Video Player, YouTube, Vimeo, all sorts of things. You would just plug that right in here. And that kind of just describes to your customers. Just a little thank you video is always good, and direct them what to do next. And then you can put a little body text down here as well, saying anything further. Very simple, but again, it gets the job done, and people just like that little extra touch. And you don't have to put a video in here, by the way. It could just be text if you wish. Now, we just hit next. Actually, let me go back and just preview that. Just so you can kind of see, it's very basic, but at the same time, it's just nice. Customers like to see that little extra touch. And if you fill it in with a video or some text, it looks even nicer, guaranteed. So if we go to next now, we have this tracking tab. So let's say yes to tracking. And this is where it gets a little bit techier, but it's definitely very important. This is where you can plug in any of your Google, Facebook, or maybe Google Analytics pixels and codes. That all goes in here. There's a lot of descriptions. You can read them and place them where you wish. But just keep in mind that you can track everything you want inside of ThriveCart, and it's only getting better too with future features that are coming out. So just keep it in mind that tracking is very important. So you have all the flexibility to do that here. So we're going to go to next. Now the very last tab you can see here is the behavior rules tab. This is very, very, very powerful, and we have a lot of videos at getthrivecart.com if you want to get into it at a deeper level. We're not going to break them all down here, but just know that there are a bunch of automations you can set based off of what the actions are, what actions are taken by your customers. You can set up a ton of rules. You could see things like adding them to email lists, applying certain tags, subscribing them to webinars, all sorts of different actions you can do right here. Just a quick example, you could see when your main product is purchased, or you can say all these different things here. So there's all different options that you can choose. But that is basically your trigger. So you can see when this happens, the main product is purchased for any pricing option or specific. You can use, so you can basically add them to an email list. In this case, we have active campaign. There is drip on here, but just remember if you don't have, and we'll talk about integrations in a minute here, if you don't have your email autoresponder integrated directly with ThriveCart, you can always use your custom HTML code right here. So it doesn't matter if it's actually natively integrated with ThriveCart. But you can see if it is, like active campaign, you can actually add or remove them to a list, automation, existing tag, or a new one, and it pulls in all sorts of information depending on the account you're using. So you can see it's like completely dynamic, and it pulls in all sorts of different things. So very, very unique, and extremely powerful is all this stuff. So what I'm going to do is use that, hit save, and now we're going to hit save and get URL so you can see what we just created. And trust me, it's a lot quicker if you're going through this without talking it all out like I am. But you can see at the very end here, perpetual audience growth is now live. Woohoo! You can see it on the far right. And we have our checkout page URL. So this can be used and linked to any kind of buy button, sales pages, in webinars, all that kind of stuff. And you have a whole bunch of other options. You can customize all sorts of things. But remember, this is the page that we just made, and looks pretty dang cool, actually, just for our first go. So you can see we put the header here. We have this countdown timer that's counting down to a few days from now. We have our secure checkout on top. We're collecting the information that we specified. We have a couple of payment options, and you can see in the far right corner how it dynamically changes depending on what people choose. And now right here, this is where folks can enter in their payment information. So you have the credit card info, just goes right inside of there. And we have PayPal. So if people choose to have PayPal, it'll basically allow them to select any options they want, including this little add-on. You can see it adds it on right there. And it also has any upsells that you might put in the process. PayPal lumps all that stuff, so everything's one click and very seamless with PayPal. So it's very unique. ThriveCart makes it extremely easy on not only you, the product owner, but also to the customers to make it just very seamless, and there's no questions about it. So you can see payment information. I talked about this is that bump offer we made. So this is an add-on type of offer. Typically it's nice and it's kind of a no-brainer, but doesn't take a lot to describe it. You can see when people add it on, it adds it to the right. And we have the buy button, of course, here. So if we did that, it would probably yell at me now because I didn't enter anything. But that is what people would, of course, buy. Far right corner, we have the product image itself, and if you were to put a video, it would be right above there. And then right over here, what you get, these are the different bullet points that we listed, and you can list a lot more if you wish. And down here, we have the 100 remaining, so we actually specified that we have limited quantities. You can turn that off if you want, but you can see that shows another level of scarcity you can put on your actual checkout page. Everything on the far right bottom here is going to be your payment details or your customer's payment details, depending on what they choose. You can see that change there. Future payments, so for for subscriptions, things will always, it'll show the future payments. So it's very clear to folks of what they're signing up for. Again, we can add that on there as well, and it line items everything out in a clear way. And then down on bottom here, and depending on the cart checkout and the style and how much stuff you have in there, the testimonials are on the bottom on this one, but they could shift around as well. But you can see we have an image, name, and their testimonial right here on the bottom. Very, very clean, very easy. And again, if you ever want to go back and customize any of this stuff, you can go back into the product settings, go to the checkout page, customize, and let's say we want to rip down that countdown timer. Well, we can just hit that, save in URL. And all I'm going to do is view that checkout page again, and you can see now that countdown is gone. So very, very simple to set this stuff up, and it's very, very easy. So if you want to add upsells, I'm not going to dig into that too much right now, but you can add upsells, downsells, and it's all one click and seamlessly integrated. You could do behavioral rules, add, allow affiliates to also get commissions off of those. You would start to set that up right here. So you would set up a sales funnel, and you could see you can actually have all these different things that you want to do. So you can configure any upsells or downsells. You can provide the URLs, add them to other membership sites, use any tracking or custom scripts. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do to create these really big funnels, but remember, it's all automated, which is really, really cool, and one click. I'm going to turn that off for now, and we're just going to save that. So our product's done now, which is really, really awesome. Now what we want to do is that we have the product done. You can see it on the list. It's actually on top right here. That's the one we just made. If we go back over here, we have our products list. So now I'm just under this little products tab. We have upsells as well. So if you wanted to create another upsell or a new upsell, you would go right here, and it's very similar to what we were walking through before. So we go to cancel here. Downsells, very same kind of method there. You can also do split testing. So this is what's really cool is you can create A/B split testing and figure out which checkout page converts best. So if you just don't know if maybe the right hand style with the pricing options is better than the left hand style, if you wanted to flip those, I don't know if you could see that, but that's a test you can do. So any way that you want to split test your checkout pages or different fields and things on there, you can do that right inside of here and see which one makes you the most sales. Another thing is coupons. So coupons are really interesting and they're very powerful inside of ThriveCart. So I'm going to walk through one of them right now for you and just show you how it's done. So we could say special PAG offer. So this coupon name here is identified just for us, but the code on the right hand, let's call it 50 off PAG, since that's the name of our course, PAG, and 50% off. So let's call this the status. We're going to enable this. It's for a percentage off, but you can see there's different options here for coupon types. So percentage off, let's call it 50% off. And we can say for just the main product or the bump and all that, let's just do entire funnel, just keep it easy. And also apply it to any recurring or future payments. So this is how you set up your coupon initially. Now again, it's all in this tab phase, so usage, you could say, yeah, let's use it immediately, or you can do it from a specific date if you're running a promo or something. And what you can do is this coupon is redeemable until you actually disable it or after a specific date. So if you wanted to automate something like a promo for like a week or two, you can actually set a specific cutoff date for this special coupon code. And now, this is what's really cool with coupons is that your affiliates can use them and you can actually track affiliates using coupon codes. We're not going to get into crazy detail, but again, at getthrivecart.com, if you look up in the search bar and just look up affiliate, we have a lot of videos on how to use the affiliate features inside of ThriveCart at great depth. So you can do that. But you can see here, if you wanted to, you can actually create a specific coupon code for an affiliate. So it tracks everything, and all you have to do is put their ID right there. We're going to say no. You can also disable it based off of a number of uses. Let's just do 100 for the heck of it. And we hit next. And now you can specify which products you want to offer this coupon for. So you can say all products, or you can say specific products, which is what we'll do. We'll do this test one. You can see we have this is the one we're working with, and you can apply it depending on which pricing option they choose. Let's do it for both. Hit next. And then we could set up some targeted, behavioral rules. We're not going to get into that now, but know that you can really deck this thing out, make it awesome. Let's hit save. And now we have that new coupon code over here. So now what's really cool is if we go back, let's go to our checkout page. I'm just going to refresh this and we should see a coupon box right there. So what was our coupon code? It was, well, let's even do this. Let's copy the code. We can plug it in here. I'm going to show you a couple options and apply. Boom, 50% off and 50% off there and 50% off on that one as well. So you can see everything's discounted. You can see the math a little easier on that one. Now another option you can do with coupon codes is if you go over here, you can copy the URL. And let's say copy and continue. If you could see my bar on top, you can paste that and it actually appends the coupon code to the end. So if we hit enter, it will automatically apply the coupon code, you could see, without me doing anything. So if you wanted to, you can just give out that copy or the URL to this actual coupon code and direct people that way, so it doesn't require them to actually plug it in. All right, so we covered coupon codes, and I'm trying to get to this as fast as possible. Let's cover some of these. You can see all the options you have on top. So we have products. Transactions are really helpful for you to really break down what you're selling and who you're selling to. So I'm going to blur out some of these names because it's just personal information, but you could see kind of some overall stats. You could see, you break it down based on all sorts of criteria. You can base it on any kind of transaction types, products, you know, you can break down all sorts of things. We're trying to keep it to all. But it's really nice to get kind of a nice glance, and you can search up customer names, email addresses, all that stuff as well. So the transaction area is really, really cool, and you could dig into way more details about each one of the customers and figure out lifetime value, a whole bunch of cool stats that are really helpful for once you start selling some product. Now over here, we have a whole subscriptions tab. So this is just looking at today, but you can kind of manage all of your subscriptions this way. And what's actually really cool, it's all done kind of in a different section under the behavioral rules, is a feature called dunning, which essentially is a way to recover any lost subscription revenue. So if this person, for instance, were to unsubscribe or just not want to, you know, continue their subscription, there are mechanisms built into ThriveCart that are automated that you can actually bring them back, entice them back with maybe bonuses or some other types of ways to interest them to continue their subscription. Or if, you know, their credit card expires or something like that. There's all these different reasons why a subscription might not stick around. But the fact that you have dunning actually built inside of ThriveCart, these are all the follow-up mechanisms to recover any lost revenue, any subscription revenue. It's going to help you save a lot more of the money that you work hard to sell, you know, any customers that you're bringing in. So dunning is a huge feature, very, very in-depth and much different than any others that are out there. Now, when it comes to affiliates, this is a complete affiliate center. Everything you need to do to basically manage any affiliates that promote your courses. And there's so many different stats. And again, at getthrivecart.com, you can actually look up affiliate in the search bar and look into deeper videos that really explore what the affiliate center is capable of, what you can use it for, and a whole bunch of tips and tricks, that the ways that we use them. There's a lot of automatic payouts. There's all these behavioral rules. There's ways to import affiliates. There's a whole bunch of ways that you can, you know, basically put your products out there in the limelight for your affiliates to really do a lot of the marketing for you. Everything can be done right inside of the affiliate center built into ThriveCart. Now, a newer feature, and this is one that a lot of folks don't know about, is this thing called JV partners and contracts. Essentially, what you can do, and it kind of explains it here, is you could split any kind of revenue with partners. And you could set up these things, these contracts inside of ThriveCart that actually manage all of this for you. And so this is perfect if you're just doing a JV, a business venture, joint venture with someone that you might not be actually in business with, or maybe they're not, you know, an owner of your company, but maybe it's a product creator. Maybe you co-create a product, or you have someone that helps manage your products and they get, say, 15, 20% of all revenue. What you can do is actually create these contracts. So you name the partner, you can include what product you're talking about, and then you have all these criteria of how you can actually manage this contract. And it's all done right inside of ThriveCart. Again, no add-ons or anything. It's just right here inside of what you get. And all this stuff is just automatically done. So it's a great way to just kind of automate more stuff. So that's a newer feature, the contract JV feature. Now for settings, really fast, I'm going to dig into what we have here. So you can see when you drop down here, you have a whole bunch of things. The settings really dig into the integrations. You can actually manage your dunning, all the follow-ups I was talking about. There's a lot of tax stuff involved in here. APIs and webhooks for anybody who's a little bit more advanced, trying to integrate things like membership sites and membership, you know, automations that way. You can actually blacklist customers. So if you have serial refunders or scammers or just people you do not want in there, you can actually ban them from your whole ThriveCart area. Any exchange of money, you can make sure those people don't slip through the cracks. All the legal and compliance stuff. So that is amazing for things like GDPR and making sure that you're legally and compliant in all parts of the world. It basically has a whole ton of features around that helps you not worry about that kind of stuff. You have account-wide settings. So these are things like, you know, changing the numbers on your invoices, this customer hub. You can actually customize this. And this is where folks can enter and update their information based on, you know, any kind of subscriptions or their address, payment information, all that stuff is done in there. This is where you actually figure out how to see names so you can actually create custom domains. That's all in the account-wide setting. And then you have this another massive feature that just got rolled out is actually creating custom text and translation. So this is essentially creating your own language. So not your own language, but applying any kind of language you're looking to have inside of ThriveCart and in all aspects of ThriveCart, even coupons, upsell, invoices, customer hub, dunning, all this stuff you can actually pick from a language that's already in here, or you can actually create your own by filling out all the details. So it gives you extreme flexibility for anything you're trying to do and making sure that it's actually, basically talking to the people that are your target market. Super cool. So let me go over to, now that was like a quick overview, the integrations is a huge one. So integrations, again, if you wanted to dig on this at getthrivecart.com, there's a bunch of videos on all this stuff, but very quickly, I'll just blast through these. We have payment gateways, autoresponders, membership platforms, webinar platforms, fulfillment centers, other kind of notifications and syncs that you do, and then other connected apps, which is basically like Zapier and stuff. So payment gateways, we kind of touched on this. We have Authorize.net, PayPal, and Stripe, and you can integrate multiple accounts of each, which is really cool. And you can see if we wanted to integrate Authorize.net or any service, there's going to be a video that walks you through it, takes you through all the steps. You'll be up and going within a minute or so, depending on if you have all your settings right. So payment gateways are great. You want to set those up. Then autoresponders. Keep in mind that there's a lot of autoresponders out there, and they get added depending on any of the demand that's out there. So right now there's a whole bunch that you could see listed, and there's a lot more that you can do. So if yours is not listed in here, you can always use the custom HTML feature, and you can still do a lot of the behavioral rules and all the stuff that we were talking about. But you can see, you can integrate all of this stuff in here just with a simple video. Usually it's an API key, ConvertKit, and there's another one, video. So it's very simple to integrate anything you want inside of here. Membership platforms, more the same. So this is what has been in demand the most from the users of ThriveCart. But again, things are happening all the time, new updates and new integrations. And again, there's typically multiple ways to integrate membership sites. So you might need to use API or Zapier or some kind of email integration. Really, it depends. And if you have any questions at all, you can always reach out to ThriveCart support as well. And again, with any of these, it's a video, and it simply walks you through what's required to integrate these things. Going down to webinar platforms, fulfillment center, there's a lot here. Fulfillment center is actually kind of a cool one. So if you have physical products and you're looking to really use ThriveCart to expand your efforts, then this is amazing. You can see it integrates with a lot of fulfillment centers and things with physical products that would really come in handy. Big one being Shopify. You can see we actually have a whole video on this at getthrivecart.com. So just go there, check out Shopify. But there's all these other things out here. Printful's one I mentioned for printing on demand, like t-shirts and mugs. Lulu's great for things like books, Kunaki, CDs, and stuff like that. There's all sorts of things. Just Google Sheets in general is amazing because you can actually keep a spreadsheet based off of what your products are doing, the information you're getting. You can actually organize those in a sheet and then use that for any kind of manual fulfillment you might have. And then you have this massive Zapier integration. And again, we have a video at getthrivecart.com. We go deep into Zapier. You can integrate so many things, literally thousands of things. So that's it for the integrations. There's a lot there. Managing dunning, we're not going to dig into that now. We're making another video of that. Get ThriveCart. There's tax stuff. All these different things are included right here inside of ThriveCart once you get in there. So can't really say anything more than that. This video has already gone long. I think we're going to split it up into two of them. But check out getthrivecart.com for any questions that you might have. If you just go to getthrivecart.com, it's actually a big old blog, and you can see, just to make it super clear, on the far right side, there's a search box. And just type up any keywords and things will pop up. Things like, integrations, behavioral rules, like I was saying, these contracts, any new updates that are coming out, we make sure that you hear about it. And taxes, there's all sorts of things. So that's basically it. So just go to getthrivecart.com. If you have any questions, just reach out to us. There's many ways to do so. And we hope to see you inside of ThriveCart. Thank you very much for watching. and I appreciate your time.